What is going on, you guys? This is Ian McKenzie with the Average Bros Fitness Podcast. So today I'm going to be talking about 6 really dumb exercises, and I have done this before in a video where I talked about some of the exercises I myself do not enjoy doing. But I'm going to be going through an article here on T-Nation that actually is 6 stupid exercises that need to die, and I agree with each and every one of these. But I want to share them with you guys because I thought this was a very interesting article simply because the exercises they bring up really are things that you guys don't need to do. And me, myself, I think I have found myself doing one or more of these exercises at one point or another. So it's interesting to see them, talked about this way because you realize how dumb they actually are, and you recognize what it is that shouldn't fill up your workout time, right? So I want to go through and just talk to you guys about each of these individual workouts that you should stop doing, right? So the first one is the clapping push-up, and as you can see, this guy right here doing a very good clapping push-up. He's already pretty ripped up, so I don't know. Maybe you're supposed to do clapping push-ups. Maybe they lie. So, but clapping push-ups, which in other words are called plyo push-ups, right? Anything plyo is explosive, jumping, that kind of thing. So a lot of times I think, me personally, I thought clapping push-ups were good because they sort of add this little bit of a cardio blast to your push-ups, right? Which I think, it's funny. I don't mind them for the purpose of cardio. Like, if you want to kill 2 birds with one stone, go ahead and do a clapping push-up. I don't see the bad thing behind it, Go ahead and do it if you feel like doing something that's a little bit like muscle building and at the same time burns your heart rate a little bit, So, but I see why they're pointing it out because I think it runs the risk for some serious injury if you're not doing them right, especially if you just go straight into it and you're tearing at your joints with these very explosive type of push-ups. And if you mess up, you're falling flat on your face. So it opens up a lot of problems for injury, that kind of thing. But if you guys want to do something cardio related and blend it into your strength training, hell, give it a try. It might be cool. So clapping push-ups. Although, all in all, I do agree, clapping push-ups are very, maybe not, So, side bend with 2 weights. Okay, I have seen so many people doing this exercise. I cannot tell you how many people I watch who try this on the regular. And I think what they try to do is find an easy way to work the obliques, and it definitely seems like something that would be effective, especially if you see somebody else doing it. It seems like a very intense way to target your obliques, right? Oblique activation. This one says that, let me read. Yeah, so the reason why they don't like it is because it doesn't accentuate both sides, right? By holding one plate or dumbbell on one side, you're looking silly, right? And you're only working one side. It's not, whenever I do them personally, I feel this lopsided work, right? I feel it in one side a little bit. And even me, I might not be good at oblique exercises because I've never felt it that great in my obliques, Maybe I just don't do it well. For an alternative, though, if you want something that does help, they don't say it here. No, they don't say it here. But if you want an alternative, this is the thing I've always done if I've wanted to target my obliques, is get on the oblique machine. And what I mean by that, it's the thing that you do, it's kind of like a half, it's at a slant. You put your legs on it and you move your body side to side, and it's so hard to explain. Let me see if I can pull it up right here. Let's see if I can do that. Let me see. Oblique machine. See if I can pull that up for you guys as I botch the spelling here. Oblique machine. And you guys will know what it is I'm talking about when I pull it up. Let's see. So, and actually, yes, this one right here. The machine right here that moves sideways. So this is not the one I was thinking of. Actually, this is the one I was thinking of, right? So if you go sideways on this kind of machine, then you can do the plate-loaded oblique exercise, right? But I do actually prefer this core machine right here because I think it's it's more of a torso exercise, and I think it has more benefit for the core as a whole as opposed to just your obliques. So I would highly recommend doing the torso twister, as some people might call it. So the side bend with the two weights, just a little bit ineffective. It's kind of iffy. But I do understand. I'll tell you this, though. I think it has good indication for people coming out of physical therapy. I think for people who can't set themselves up on that sideways oblique machine, right? This one right here. Or if for the ones who have trouble getting this one set up, because this sideways turning machine is a pain to get set up. So for those people who just want to make it easier to get into an oblique exercise, maybe go ahead and start with this one and see how it feels for you. You might feel differently about it, The third one is the kipping pull-up. Yes, totally agree. I have nothing to say about this one. There's nothing I can say about this that would make it okay to do. I think if you are trained and you are somebody who's doing CrossFit competitions on the regular, go ahead and do the kipping pull-up. But if you're not, if you're just some Joe Schmo who's trying to get into the gym and build some muscles, don't do the kipping pull-up. Do an assisted pull-up. Go on to one of the assisted pull-up machines. Try something like that. And a kipping pull-up is for me, and I'll tell you right now, I am so untrained in CrossFit. So I am not the kind of person who could sit there and do a kipping pull-up properly anyway, right? So, but for me, it just hurts. It's just like a lot of like swinging and hip driving and joint breaking. It's so many different things that feel bad on your joints and on your body as a whole. So the kipping pull-up is totally unnecessary in all honesty, really and truly. Just stick with a regular pull-up, you guys. Be normal. Rotator cuff exercises with the dumbbells. This is a tough one. I think I agree to a certain extent. But as a person who feels rotator cuff problems and has issues with the shoulder, doing these before you hit a very heavy shoulder exercises seem to help, because it is a way that you can do a dynamic warm-up, right, when you're trying to go into a shoulder exercise. So for me, I see it as an easy dynamic warm-up as opposed to something like an isolated stretch, which people say is not the way to go. And it isn't. You're supposed to save isolated stretches until after your workout, the ones where you really try to stretch the muscle out. Don't do those before, because it's going to take away from your performance. You're tearing the muscle a little bit, so it's detracting from big lifts, right? It's okay to do it for a short amount of time, maybe like a 10-second mobility stretch, but don't hold it too long, because you don't want to go into the exercise feeling compromised, right? So that's why I kind of like this. It's a good way to get your rotator cuffs working. So, and a good dynamic warm-up. I get why they're saying it, though, is because I do definitely see a lot of people doing this, and I think there's better ways to do it. Maybe not the way this guy is doing it in the picture. I think maybe one way you can do it is like this, going up and down, holding your tricep parallel to the ground, doing it instead of this way. That way you're getting more of the shoulder involved, so you feel it as a shoulder exercise and you're working through the actual figure 4 motion of a shoulder press. So tweak it. Make it a little bit more specific if you want to do it properly, right? Moving on. Okay, the next one is the bench dip. These are hard. These are really difficult, because I see why they're good and I see why they're bad. And part of me, I look through it, and my first thought was, I won't do any of these. Like, none of these are good. And now as I'm looking through it again, I can't help but think that maybe there is something good about them. I don't think the way this man is doing a bench dip is the right thing. Let me stop scrolling on my screen for 2 seconds. But what I think is good about the bench dip is that it feels better on the shoulders. Because for me, if I get onto a dip machine, it tears at my shoulder joints and it feels absolutely horrendous. Uncomfortable, awful. Not something I recommend doing. So this is something that takes away the massive strain and pressure on your shoulders. And if you get rid of the weight and use it more as a warm-up or a finisher, maybe that's the way you guys should think about doing this, you know? You're welcome to use a plate, but I've always used it as either a warm-up or a finisher. So you're putting it at a different point in your workout, and you're giving it a different priority. So that's why. And let's see what they say here. They say slipping off the edge of the bench. Yes. Yeah, I do agree. I do, because, you know, you can do that. That's happened before. So they are saying, yeah, so what they're saying is that it's bad for the shoulder joint. I think, I disagree. I think it feels okay because I'm not putting my whole weight. I'm not having to dip my entire body as just one big, massive amount of weight. So I think, yeah, I get, you know, your hands are turned in like this, which is a compromised position, but you really aren't lifting your total weight combined. So I don't know. Try it out. See what you guys feel. You guys might like regular dips better. Who knows, you know? Next one is full speed sprinting. Yeah, I did full speed sprinting. I think it's great. I really do. I think full speed sprinting to a reasonable distance. So if you are not trained for full speed sprinting, you might run the risk of getting like shin splints, or you might feel a lot of pain, especially if you just go straight into it without warming up and you're a very flat-footed person. Me personally, I'm a very flat-footed person, but if I ever attempt full speed sprinting, I will do so knowing that I'm not going to go too far, and that I go to a point where I'm very, you know, I feel like my heart rate has gone up enough to make it something significant for fat burning. So full speed sprinting, let's see what they say. So, yeah. So they're saying that it's not good to just go right into it, and what they're saying is that you got to take it down a notch, and it's not meant to be for recreation, as you know, as opposed to somebody who might be preparing for something athletic. No, but I think sprints are great. I think you can scale them according to people's individual abilities. So, but I like the idea of doing a quick sprint to really quickly ramp up your heart rate if you're trying to lose fat. And especially if you're trying to get into different workout regimes, if you've been somebody who's been doing the treadmill for so long, might be better to just get into some sprints to try something new. You know, that's the whole deal with it. So that is the 6 exercises they do not recommend. And what is so funny is that here I am saying a lot of things that maybe make you guys think you should do them. So who knows? Try them out. Although I don't recommend them. I've never just gone and made a workout about any of these exercises. So I get why they're bringing them up, is because none of these things have ever just been a staple in any of my workouts. So I get it from that point of view. But there are pros and cons to each and every one of these. And I think that most part, the pros outweigh the cons. So try it out. See what you guys think. You guys might love it. It might be the best thing ever for you. So, yeah, that's it, you guys. That was my podcast for the day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for some cool interviews I have coming up. I'll be talking to one of my friends about pageant fitness, right? Some of the things prepping for something as big as that. Like, how do you prepare for pageant fitness? How do you go about doing that? And other things. I'll be talking to a CrossFitter, some of the things he does. And so stay tuned for that, you guys. Got some cool interviews coming your way. Go check out the website, averagebrosfitness.com, for more awesome free content. You guys can go look at the subscriptions in which I provide monthly resources for you guys to become your own personal trainer. And then on top of that, there's more podcast episodes and more blogs and more videos and everything that'll make it all easy for you to become your own personal trainer. So thank you guys so incredibly much. Thank you.